Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. From the late 90s to the late 2000s, an incident occurred in the United Kingdom that shook not only the UK but also a large state in India, Punjab. During this decade, a murder plot was crafted so shocking that learning about the mindset of the killers will make your blood run cold. In 1987, Surjit Kaur was just 16 years old. It was that same year that her father, Mohinderpal Singh Dhillon, and mother, Surinder Kaur, began searching for a boy to marry Surjit. In a short amount of time, they found a 26-year-old man named Sukhdev Singh Athwal for her. Even though Surjit did not want to marry, she was forced into marrying Sukhdev Singh, who was 10 years older than her. Surjit had always been a fun-loving, brave, and cheerful girl, and her family believed that she would continue to have the same happiness in her life after marriage. Actually, at that time, most families in many villages in India were conservative and kept girls under strict supervision from a young age, often not allowing them to leave the house. Additionally, girls were often married off in their teenage years or early 20s. Now, even though Surjit's parents lived in the UK, they belonged to a small village in the state of Punjab, so they also arranged Surjit's marriage early. Before the wedding, Surjit Kaur met Sukhdev Singh and his family only once. After the marriage, Surjit learned that in her in-laws' house, no decision was made without consulting her widowed mother-in-law, Bachchan Kaur Athwal. Bachchan Kaur's word was final, and she kept everyone except her own children under her control. Until 1988, there were only 5 members in the Athwal family. The head of the household, Bachchan Kaur Athwal, her elder son, Sukhdev Singh Athwal, younger son, Hardev Singh Athwal, and her daughter, Bachchan Kaur. Anyway, after Surjit married into the Athwal family, she became Surjit Kaur Athwal. The Athwal family lived in the city of Hayes, in West London. But after the marriage, Surjit's life turned into a living hell because, at an age when she should have been studying and exploring her life, she had to wash her in-laws' clothes, clean their dirty dishes, and sweep and mop the house. Despite all this, if Surjit ever made a mistake while doing household chores, her mother-in-law would get very angry with her. Besides, whenever Surjit would say even a little bit in front of her in-laws, her husband Sukhdev would beat her so badly that poor Surjit would sit alone in her room and cry. Now, you might be wondering why, despite enduring so much abuse, Surjit never told her parents or brothers about it. But for your information, let me tell you that Surjit had shown her wounds to her family many times. However, they silenced her, saying, "This is just a matter of a few days. If you endure patiently, one day you'll win the hearts of your in-laws, and then everything will be fine." But Surjit, who was always happy, had never seen so much sorrow in her life as she had seen in the past few months since coming to the Athwal family's house. In fact, Surjit Kaur was born on July 17, 1971, in the city of Coventry, England, and Surjit grew up in a suburb called Foleshill. Surjit had 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and all of them had been living in England from the beginning. Since Surjit belonged to a Sikh family, she and her other siblings were raised in a very traditional manner. Anyway, in the year 1989, Surjit's brother-in-law Hardev also had an arranged marriage with a girl named Sarbjit. Sarbjit was also young, obedient, and very innocent, but just a few days after the marriage, she too learned the truth about the Athwal family. In fact, at home, Bachchan Kaur started treating both her daughters-in-law the same way. All day, they had to cook, clean, and obey every command of the Athwal family. Essentially, they were no longer being treated like daughters-in-law of the Athwal family, but more like servants. In an interview, Sarbjit mentions that in 1991, when both Surjit and Sarbjit were pregnant within a few months of each other, they were still treated like slaves. Anyway, both Surjit and Sarbjit gave birth to a child each. But even after that, Bachchan Kaur's behavior towards her daughters-in-law didn't change. She would even start scolding them at the slightest crying of her grandchildren, to the extent that when the children got a little older, Bachchan Kaur would tell them not to call her grandma, but to call her mom instead. From the outside, the Athwal family appeared to be very religious and cheerful to everyone. The entire family would go to the nearby Gurdwara, and whenever they met someone, they would never let it show what was happening inside their home. However, within the four walls of the house, innocent Surjit would endure the scolding from her husband and mother-in-law, but many times, even after being beaten, Surjit Kaur would confront her husband and mother-in-law. This is why Surjit faced the most violence, and that's why she had become extremely frustrated with this life of servitude. One day, Surjit decided that she would leave the house and look for a job so she could feel free for at least on job. After this, Surjit tried for jobs at several places, and eventually she got a job as a customs agent at London Heathrow Airport. Here, because of Surjit Kaur's beautiful and friendly personality, she made many new friends, and she was really enjoying her life with them. Influenced by her new friends, she even bought some Western clothes and makeup items. However, Surjit's transformation did not sit well with her husband, Sukhdev, and her mother-in-law, Bachchan Kaur. Sukhdev felt that maybe his wife Surjit was no longer listening to him and was going out of his control. But things got even worse when, in January 1994, fed up with the constant arguments, 23-year-old Surjit ran away from home with her 3-year-old daughter Pawan. However, just a few days later, Sukhdev Singh finds Surjit, and once again he beats her and threatens that if she doesn't come back home, he won't let her live. Although Surjit agrees to go back with Sukhdev, she puts forward a condition that she can't stay at the same house anymore. Surprisingly, Sukhdev agrees to Surjit's condition and says that they will soon move into a separate house. Then Sukhdev talks to his mother, Bachchan Kaur, and buys the house next to theirs. After this, the couple starts living with their daughter in the house right next to their main house. However, ever since Surjit started going out for her job, Sukhdev had suspected that she was having an affair with another man. As a result, in 1997, when Surjit becomes pregnant again and gives birth to a son, Sukhdev refuses to accept the child, questioning who the real father might be. Sukhdev's words deeply hurt Surjit, but now it wasn't just Sukhdev. The entire Athwal family was looking at Surjit with suspicion. Despite Surjit's numerous efforts to prove her husband Sukhdev wrong, no one was willing to listen to her. Life in this house started to suffocate Surjit. After enduring the harshness and violence of her in-laws for a long time, Surjit now needed people who loved her. Because of this, she wanted to spend more and more time with her co-workers. While working at the airport, Surjit befriends a man who values her. He talks to her with great affection, and soon Surjit falls in love with him. Sukhdev had been suspicious of Surjit ever since she started working, but now whenever Surjit left the house for work in the morning, Sukhdev would follow her every day. If Surjit ever went out with her friends, Sukhdev would track her there too. Within a few days, Sukhdev learns about Surjit's affair and shares this information with his mother, brother, and sister. After learning about this, the Athwal family felt that Surjit was tarnishing their family's reputation, so they decided that she needed to be taught a lesson. However, when Sukhdev spoke to his wife Surjit about it, Surjit realized that everyone had found out about her affair, and so she started thinking about making the biggest decision of her life. One day in November 1998, Surjit asked Sukhdev for a divorce, but Sukhdev Singh and Bachchan Kaur did not accept Surjit's decision. Surjit already knew that her husband, influenced by his mother, wouldn't agree to a divorce. Days passed like this, And then, one day in December 1998, a meeting was held in the lounge of their main house while Surjit was not at home. Bachchan Kaur, Sukhdev Singh, Hardev Singh, Bhajan Kaur, and even Surjit's sister-in-law Sarabjit attended this meeting. While drinking tea, Bachchan Kaur said to everyone, "Surjit is getting out of control and tarnishing our family's name. So, we need to get rid of her. I've spoken to someone in India who will kill Surjit and erase all traces of her existence." Everyone liked Bachchan Kaur's idea very much, including Surjit's husband, Sukhdev Singh, who was also ready to have his wife killed. But hearing all this, Sarabjit became very scared. Although she wanted to inform Surjit about it, she couldn't muster the courage to do so because of her fear of her husband Hardev and mother-in-law Bachchan Kaur. But the next day, Sarabjit Kaur is surprised when her mother-in-law Bachchan Kaur calls her and Surjit over and says, "There are 2 weddings at our relative's place in India and I want to attend both of them. But my heart's desire is that you come with me, because ever since you came into this house, we as a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law haven't gone anywhere together outside our city. Besides this, Bachchan Kaur also tells Surjit, "When we return to London, you can get a divorce from Sukhdev." Surjit finds this quite normal, and she feels happy that she'll finally get a divorce and be able to live a free life. But little did Surjit know that this trip from London to India would prove to be some of her last days. Now, preparations for the trip to India begin, and plane tickets are purchased. The departure ticket from London was for December 3rd, 1998, and they were supposed to stay in India for a few days. They were to attend 2 weddings in the Punjab state of India, and their return ticket was for December 18th. However, as the date of December 3rd approached, Sarabjit's worries began to grow. Although she didn't discuss this with Surjit Kaur, but she did tell her husband Hardev that they should stop his mother, Bachchan Kaur, from taking this step. But Hardev, who was afraid of his mother, told Sarabjit to keep quiet. Sarabjit couldn't directly tell Surjit about this because she feared that if she revealed Bachchan Kaur's plan to Surjit and Bachchan Kaur and her sons found out, there was no telling what they might do to her as well. But here, Sarabjit was also worried about Surjit's life, so to save Surjit, she went far from her home a few hours before Bachchan Kaur and Surjit's flight and called Crime Stoppers from a phone booth. In this call, Sarabjit told the Crime Stoppers operator about the meeting, where for the first time Bachchan Kaur had talked about getting Surjit killed. Along with this, Sarabjit also provided Surjit's flight number to Crime Stoppers. Additionally, on the same day, Sarabjit wrote a letter to her local police station in which she detailed the meeting held at home and listed all the family members who were present. She even mentioned the location in India where Surjit and Bachchan Kaur were planning to stay and requested immediate action. However, Sarabjit did not include her name in the letter because she couldn't risk exposing herself in front of her in-laws. Anyway, on December 3rd, Surjit said goodbye to her 7-year-old daughter and 9-month-old son and left for the airport with her mother-in-law, Bachchan Kaur. Seeing this, Sarabjit went inside the house and started crying in her room because she feared that now Surjit would never return to England. Although Sarabjit had tried her best to save Surjit's life, she neither received any response from Crime Stoppers nor did the police reply to her letter. In fact, no investigation was carried out by the police. It's possible that the police never received the letter written by Sarabjit, or they dismissed it as a joke or a hoax, considering it was sent anonymously. Friends, before moving forward in the video, I have a small request for you. I want to let you know that behind the David True Crime channel, there is a team of 5 people who work hard to bring you the best quality content through thorough research. If you appreciate our efforts, you can support us according to your preference by visiting the link provided in the description. Your small support
will motivate us to work effectively on the channel. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the story.
Well, now the date comes to December 18th, 1998. Bachchan Kaur returns from India alone, without Surjit. Seeing this, Sarbjit started feeling suspicious, and when she asked her mother-in-law, Bachchan Kaur, about Surjit, Bachchan Kaur replied, Surjit really enjoyed her time in Punjab, so she decided to stay there for a few more days. Hearing this, strange thoughts began to cross Sarbjit's mind. A few days pass like this, but when Surjit's father finds out that his daughter Surjit had gone to India with her mother-in-law Bachchan Kaur on December 3rd, but Bachchan Kaur returned alone on December 18th, he questions Bachchan Kaur about his daughter's disappearance. However, Bachchan Kaur tells Surjit's father a fabricated story, saying Surjit found another man in India and then she ran away with him to an unknown place. At this point, Sukhdev Singh also says, "Not too long ago I had spoken with Surjit on the phone, but now she just wants to stay with her lover and doesn't care about her children anymore." But Surjit's parents and her other siblings knew that Surjit could never do such a thing. Because of this, on December 21st, 1998, Surjit's brother Jagdish Singh goes to the Metropolitan Police and files a missing person report for Surjit. Following this, the police officially begin their investigation. At that time, the police did not investigate the way they should have, which led the Athwal family to stay busy in their daily lives. Meanwhile, Surjit's brother Jagdish Singh and his father persistently followed up with the police, visiting the British Foreign Office multiple times to insist that they should also investigate in India to find Surjit. On the other hand, every day for the Athwal family was spent in fear that something terrible might happen to Surjit and her children. However, in February 1999, Surjit's husband, Sukhdev, attempted to claim Surjit's £100,000 life insurance. Sukhdev was unsuccessful in this attempt and eventually filed for divorce against Surjit in court to avoid police scrutiny. In the divorce filing, Sukhdev claimed that his wife had gone to India and ran off with another man. Nevertheless, in May 2000, the Metropolitan Police arrested 4 members of the Athwal family for conspiring to murder Surjit in India. The 4 included the head of the household, Bachchan Kaur, her 2 sons Sukhdev Singh and Hardev Singh, and Sarbjit Kaur. However, they were held at the police station for only 1 day. After some questioning, the police released everyone without any charges. The police suspected that Sarbjit might also be involved in Bachchan Kaur's scheme and was trying to save herself by deliberately providing the police with a partial story. This deeply hurt Sarbjit, as she was actually trying to seek justice for Surjit. After that, the police put up posters about Surjit's disappearance in every corner of the city and offered a reward of £10,000 for any information about him. Despite this, several years went by without any information about Surjit reaching the police. As I mentioned earlier, Sarbjit lived in constant fear in the Athwal family since Surjit's disappearance. As a result, in 2004, due to being physically and mentally weak, Sarbjit suffered a panic attack and was taken to the hospital. But when Sarbjit started recovering in the hospital, she decided that she would cut off all ties with the Athwal family at any cost. So, when Sarbjit was discharged from the hospital, she went straight to her father, Sewa Bath's house, where she told him about the meeting in which the plan to kill Surjit had been made. Hearing this story, Sewa Bath asked his daughter Sarbjit to go to the police and give a statement. Sarbjit showed courage and went to the police station to tell the whole story. However, when the police reopened the case in 2005 and started questioning the Athwal family again, Sarbjit and her father began receiving death threats. Under the leadership of Detective Chief Inspector Clive Driscoll, Some officers from the Metropolitan Police went to India for 10 days to collect evidence and interview suspects in the case. After a complex investigation, the police officially arrested Bachchan Kaur, Sukhdev Athwal, and Sarbjit's husband, Hardev Singh, on November 3, 2005. By August 2006, it was proven that Bachchan Kaur and Sukhdev Singh had orchestrated the murder of Surjit Kaur. However, when the full story of the murder came to light, it shocked everyone. After arriving in India, Bachchan Kaur and Surjit were picked up by a man named Darshan Singh, who was Bachchan Kaur's brother. Subsequently, on December 5th and 6th, Surjit and Bachchan Kaur attended 2 weddings in Punjab. A few days later, Surjit wanted to go shopping, so Bachchan Kaur gave her some money and told her to go shopping with her brother Darshan Singh. Later, Darshan Singh and a friend of his started their jeep, and Surjit got in. After a while, when Surjit felt thirsty, Darshan Singh gave her water from his vehicle, but the water had been laced with a drug. As a result, Surjit lost consciousness, and Darshan Singh and his accomplice strangled her to death. They then removed all of Surjit's jewelry and dumped her body in the Ravi River, which has not been recovered to this day. Anyway, the trial began at the Central Criminal Court on April 25, 2007, and lasted for 3 months. Sarbjit testified against Bachchan Kaur and Sukhdev Singh in court for 3 days. After that, both Bachchan Kaur and Sukhdev Singh were sentenced to life imprisonment. When Bachchan Kaur was sentenced, she was 70 years old, making her one of the oldest women to receive a life sentence in criminal history. However, after serving 20 years, Bachchan Kaur could have been eligible for parole, and Sukhdev Singh could have been eligible after serving 27 years. In March 2009, Bachchan Kaur appealed against both her conviction and sentence in court. Although her appeal against the sentence was dismissed, but due to her advancing age and illness, her minimum tariff was reduced to 15 years. As a result, in 2022, Bachchan Kaur was released on bail from prison. However, the sad part is that the real killers of Surjit Kaur in India, Darshan Singh and his accomplice, were never caught. On the other hand, Sarbjit had divorced her husband, Hardev Singh, and moved with her 4 children to another place. Additionally, Sarbjit wrote about her ordeal and Surjit's story in a book titled Shamed: The Honor Killing That Shocked Britain. If you guys concerned about Surjit's 2 children, you should know that after Sukhdev Singh was arrested, a social services agency took care of Surjit's children. The lively Surjit was happy, even in her last moments, enjoying shopping. But little did she know that some beasts would destroy her smile forever in the name of honor. So, with that, the Surjit Kaur Athwal honor killing case comes to an end right here. Additionally, if you want to recommend any case for us to make a detailed video on, you can write the name of that case in the comments section. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you.